Well, howdy guys, howdy folks, welcome to Now That's What I Call Food.com. Episode 11. Episode 11 and 12, we will be concentrating on desserts. We've moved on to desserts. I love desserts. Desserts are my favorite. I remember times when I used to go to the restaurant, order nothing but desserts. I used to have dessert as a starter, as a main dish, and then fuck it, as a dessert as well. Hey, what the hell, you gotta do it. But you see, what happened is I realized that, well, my taste buds refined over a period of time, yeah? So I started to take real proper food. And to be honest, I can't remember the last time I had a good dessert at a restaurant. Strange that, isn't it? You see, the problem is, particularly the Italian restaurants, they have a habit of doing this. You see, the starters and the main dishes can be absolutely wonderful, but they ruin it. They completely ruin it by the time it gets to dessert because they don't pay much attention to it. They typically have 3 or 4 items on the menu. They class one of them as being a special, but a lot of times the desserts have been in those like glass cabinets, you know, the ones, the jars that you see at the back. And they go, and they look as though they've been sitting there for a couple of days. So the only decent dessert they tend to do is ice cream. So my message to you guys, yeah, the restaurateurs, yeah, I'm not talking about Italian restaurants specifically, I'm talking about generally, yeah. It's like, please, make the effort. Yeah, you've made the effort at the starter and the main dish. Just because the likelihood of anybody ordering a dessert is very, very tiny, that doesn't necessarily mean to say that you have to cut back, yeah? Because you end up ruining a great evening on that very last meal, that last dish that gets served up. So beware, yeah? That's it. Right, so what we gonna do today? Today we're gonna have some fun. Alright, we are gonna be doing cheesecake adultery in a steam room. Lemon and strawberry flavor. You're probably wondering, what the fuck is that? Well, you see, I came across something on the internet, and I was like, I gotta try that. That's cool. What it is, we're going to be doing the adultery cheesecake. Is actually an adult version of a cheesecake. So we're going to be putting alcohol in both the biscuit layer and the filling. Wait for it. Now, the thing that I discovered online is there's a method of cooking a cheesecake, baking a cheesecake in a water bath. So we're going to do that as well. And I'm going to explain why. Hence the title. Cheesecake adultery in a steam room. So, what have we got for the ingredients? I hear you scream out loud. I hear you go, come on, man, give it to me now. So guys, for the biscuit base, we're going to be using cream crackers. I am not using digestive biscuits. The reason why is because we're going to line it with alcohol, and I don't want the biscuit layer to become mushy. So I don't want the biscuit to absorb too much. We're going to be using cream crackers. To compensate for the lack of sugar, we're going to add brown sugar. Girl, you taste so good now. Brown sugar, just like I knew you would. Rolling Stones, oh my god, you are legends. I'll tell you what, Brown Sugar is one of my favorite party tracks of all time. I love it to bits, man. It's like, oh my gosh. So, yeah, it was some of you guys probably, especially the millennials, yeah, it's a message for you, yeah? It's like, you probably recognize the guitar riff intro from Dandy Warhol's Bohemian Like Me. And, just wanted to tell you guys, Rolling Stones are the original. So, message to you millennials, get real. And anyway, back. Also, we're going to be using, now, a lot of recipes don't state which type of butter to use. Guys, I'm going to tell you a story. I made a cheesecake a while back for a girlfriend I had. And she invited her son, it was meant to be for this, children as well as her. She invited her son back into the kitchen, asked him, how's the cheesecake? And he said, the base tastes too salty. Right there, then I realized I made a terrible mistake. I used salted butter. I was sitting there at a dining table with the cheesecake in front of me, and I thought, fuck, kid's right. So I vowed to myself, from that day onwards, I am not going to use salted butter. Guys, lesson, yeah? Use unsalted butter. Yeah? Damn it. So, this is unsalted butter. I got it especially for the cheesecake. Fuck it. Right. This is an optional ingredient. Cinnamon. We may need it, but that will be determined after we put the alcohol. What alcohol are we using, dude? Well, we're going to be using whiskey for the biscuit base. Then what we're going to do is we're going to move to the filling layer. So move that out of the way now that we've done that. Going to use some soft cheese. We're going to make it simple, guys, okay? Because we're going to mix in with the flavors and we're going to make it real tasty. So use soft cheese. I'm probably going to use 2.5 of these. I've also got natural yogurt. Oh my god, I can't remember what the fuck I'm doing. Right. I'm gonna then, as I mix that in, slowly put in the 3 eggs. I'm gonna zest up these lemons. So we're gonna add the lemon zest in there. And I'll probably use some lemon juice as well, but that depends on the flavor. We're gonna see how it goes. We are going to be using diced up strawberries in there as well, in the filling. What we're using for alcohol this time, sir? This is my favorite. We're going to be putting vodka. This is Ruski Standard. I love this one. Yeah, you could use Absolute vodka, but I prefer this one. It's got a little bit more of a kick. Swarovska is also good. Smirnoff is not bad. But this is my favorite. Yeah, go look forward to this. Optional ingredients we got. Based on the flavor we get. I got sugar and vanilla paste. If it needs that little bit of sweetness added to it. So watch out for that. Right. That's the 2-stage process, okay? Alright. Here comes the prep for what we're going to do in the water bath. Right. We got a springform tin. Man, I can't even say these words. I'm going to line it with greaseproof paper. Then, when we're done with that, to protect it from the water will be sitting in this bathtub here. We're going to stick that in there like that. Yeah? Imagine that like that. We're going to line it up, though, first of all, with foil. And then, as an extra measure, just to make sure the water doesn't seep in, we're going to stick a roasting bag around it. We're going to bake it for about an hour and a half. An hour to an hour and a half. I got a fan assisted oven. We'll just see how that goes. And then when that gets done, there's the final finishing touch. We're going to sprinkle some icing sugar over it. And then some fresh strawberries as a topping. You follow me now? Shall we get started? What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to zest up the lemons. So I'm going to do the prep first. So zest up the lemons. I'm going to beat the crap out of these using a rolling pin in a bag. I'm going to use the whole lot. So let me do that prep. Don't think there's anything else left to do. No. Let me just get on with that prep, and then we'll kick off from there. See you in a bit, guys. Right, guys. Okay, I've finished the prep. I've beaten the crap out of crackers there. Crappers, yeah, they are crappers now. We got lemon zest from the 3 lemons there. And also I diced not all of the strawberries. I think I took about half a punnet because I thought that was enough. It's going to be part of the filling. So that's okay, that's all done. I'm going to take this much amount of butter. It's just less than 25 grams. It's like, put it in. We're going to melt that. One other prep I did was the tin. So I've lined the greaseproof paper on the inside. What I've done is I've taken 4 bits of foil and then just wrapped the whole damn thing around it. Created this little lip that's kind of like a protection zone, because when we put this in water, it's we don't want it to flood inside. Yeah. And then as another protective measure, I haven't covered the whole thing. I'll just use the side to protect it from the water seeping in. So this is basically what I'm planning to do. So that's the prep for the tin itself. Right, guys, moving to our usual station. I've melted the butter. We're going to put the butter in. It's cool. Now I'm going to add a tiny little bit of sugar to start off with. And see how we go with the flavor. Remember guys, so I'm just taking about a tablespoonful. Mix that in. Start mixing all that in. Remember guys, we've only added a little bit of butter. So now comes the magic. Let's get the whiskey out. About how much? No, a bit more. Fuck it. And mix that in as well. Now, you'll see that it still looks a bit crumbly, but when the whiskey's in there, it should absorb a little bit, at least anyway. So become that mush that the butter normally makes of it. Now try it. That's got a good flavor already, but it needs more whiskey. A bit more, not that much in it. There. Mix you up. You can see what the whiskey's doing to the biscuit already. That's got a good texture. Seriously guys, that's got a good texture. Try it again. Make sure. Put a little bit on the spoon. That's done it. We can now start patting that in. Nice and level. Make it as level as you can, guys. Perfect. We can now put that in. Now we go on to stage 2 of the preparation, which is the filling. Right guys, what I got here is I've emptied all the cream cheese in here. So it's all just like room temperature mushy, which it helps during the cooking process, okay? Guys, remember, use full fat cream cheese. Don't use half fat, don't use minimal fat. Just use the full fat. It cooks better, okay? I'm taking the yogurt. I'm going to put that in as well now. Going to mix that in together. And then slowly, we'll start adding the eggs as our base mixture. Start mixing that in. Time to start adding the eggs. Egg number 1. And we mix that in. Let's change to a whisk. Start beating that in until that's fully gone in. Then we add another egg. It's good. Second egg. Can't even chop. Mix that until it completely dissolves. Nice texture. Third egg. Third egg. Right guys, once we've dissolved all the eggs, we can start putting in the zest. Put all of that in. Mix that in. Now we can start putting the strawberries in. Got it. That's it. It's good. Now I'm whisking the strawberries in. Obviously I want to fold them, but I'm also deliberately trying to break into them so the color, look at the color, it just seeps in. Guys, now that we got the strawberries, I'm switching back to the spoon. And I think now it's a good time to taste it before we start putting the liquid in. I could do with a tiny little bit of sugar, but I want to put the alcohol in first. Here comes Mrs. Vodka. Whiskey Standard. Let's put that much in so far. Remember guys, if it looks too thin because of the liquid that we put in, just add some flour. Simple as that. And I think this may need some flour now. I've got to try that. That was interesting. Let me just wash that up. Hell yeah. That tastes good. What we're going to have to do, guys, is we're going to have to thicken that up a little bit with flour. Bit too liquidy. So yeah guys, we need to thicken this up with flour. I mean, that's a little bit too liquidy. It shouldn't be like that. So if we just put that in, not that much. I want to make it real nice and thick. And bring back the whisk. Thicken that up. Now it does taste a little bit sour, I have to say, so it's going to need a little bit of sugar. Let's mix that in. Yeah, that's thickened up nicely. That could do with a taste. It definitely tastes cheesecake, but it could do with a bit of sweetener. Rather than using sugar, I'm going to put some of the vanilla essence. We're going to take, it doesn't take much guys, because this is quite strong stuff. About that much, so almost a full teaspoonful. Going to mix that in now. Fold that in and mix it in. Sugar. We are going to use. We are going to use. We are going to use all of our optional ingredients on this one. Remember, I didn't use cinnamon on the other one. I like the taste of whiskey and the sweet. I put sugar on that one as well. Let's mix that in. That's done it. Guys, that's done it. It's taking a bit of the vodka flavor away. Maybe you should need a little bit more vodka. Now that it's got that sweet taste to it, I do still want to have that vodka flavor in there. Guys, that's perfect. That's real good. I like that. Right, time to put it on. The main ingredient. Make sure you level it nicely. Perfect. Guys, that's ready to go in. Right guys, I just boiled some water, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it in about a couple of inches up the top. No way, you don't need to fill it all the way to the top, just a couple of inches, because it's going to be a steam room. Once the boiling water is in there, and let it go. It's about right. That's about right. Don't need no more. We're going to leave that as it is, and in the oven it goes. Simple as that. Hopefully that should hold. Let's see how it goes. Bye-bye, Mrs. Vodka and Mr. Whiskey. You're going to go in the steam room for some little hanky-panky. I'll see you in an hour. Guys, when you start seeing the cheesecake look like that, that's pretty much done. So that's been in the oven for about an hour and 10 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to just turn the heat off completely, switch the oven off, and just open the door just slightly, like, damn it, it just keeps like just letting out like that. That'll naturally help it cool. We don't want it to cool down immediately, just gradually. Just one extra point, guys. We need to let that cool for another hour. Okay, so I forgot to mention that on the video. I just reviewed it. Yeah, we need to let that cool for an hour, and then we can get the cheesecake out of the oven. So gotta just leave it like that. Howdy guys, welcome back. Yes, right, what I did with the cheesecake, I did do a warm taste of the cheesecake last night. And bearing in mind, it was 3:45 a.m. this morning, which is Sunday, June 7th, 2020. And I hadn't slept since 2 a.m. the day before, so I've been up for 26 hours. I was also feeling a little bit tired and drunk, and I don't think I gave that review a very, very fair chance. So what I thought I'd do today is, basically, I got it out the oven, I put it in the fridge to chill overnight, and we're going to do a taste test now. And I'm hoping it'll be a more fairer one than the one I gave it. The original taste test is actually appended at the end of this video in case you want to see it. It'll make no sense at all. Right, okay, so what we got is, you can see that I've taken one of the pieces last night and just tried it. So this is what I got. I've laced one with icing sugar and a strawberry like I intended, and the other one I just left as it is because I want to taste it as it is cold. And one thing that you'll notice, the steam effect, the steam room effect, it's left the whole cheesecake soft all the way to the top. I'm not sure whether I like that or not. I do like the texture of like a baked cheesecake when it crusts over at the top, and that's kind of lacking that. And that's what I discovered from the taste test I did initially. We're going to do that again and see how it goes. Right, guys, I'm gonna first of all try this one and see how it goes. I want to have a good piece out of this, so I want to make sure I get everything. Yeah, there's alcohol in there. Definitely there's alcohol in there. Now I'm going to try the one with the icing sugar laced. Right, guys. The cheesecake itself has got a very, very good uniform texture all the way to the top. It's soft, it's succulent, it's kind of like it's got that melt in the mouth kind of like thing. I would recommend leaving it out on room temperature after you chilled it for a while, because I think the flavors will come out a little bit stronger. The one I've taken as is, it does taste a little bit sour. I mean, there is some sweetness to it, I wouldn't deny it, but it does taste a little bit sour. And I don't know if you're going to like that flavor or not. I'm impartial because I like both sides. I think I prefer the one sweeter, to be honest. There is a distinct taste of alcohol in there, and it goes all the way from the top filling to the bottom. You know that there's a hidden ingredient, you can't figure it out. But, I mean, eating that slice, and probably about 3 of them, will make you drunk without realizing. Happened to me last night when I was doing the taste test. The one with the icing sugar and the strawberry is more akin to your standard cheesecake. It does sweeten it up. I think it needs a little bit more icing sugar on it, which is cool. But you know what? As cheesecake goes, you've got lots of flavors going on inside. It's like you've got the sweetness on the top, and you got the strawberry, and then all of a sudden you got that alcohol, that kind of kick. And I do like it. I must admit, I do like it. Whether I would do a steam bath version or not, again, is another matter. Because as I said, I do like the texture of a cheesecake when it's baked in the oven, and that kind of feels like it's kind of like just, I don't know, it's lacking that little bit of texture. But having said that, I wouldn't say never. I'd probably want to try that again, this time without alcohol. Just do a standard cheesecake and see how that goes. I think to give it a fair chance, that's what I would do. Guys, it's like, I just want to say, yeah, it's like, I take chances, and I recommend everybody else does the same, yeah? Life is an adventure. Yeah, if you don't try something, you'll never know whether you like it or not. And you know what? We all make mistakes. And I make mistakes. And I learn from them. I'm also able to laugh about it myself. Yeah, laugh at myself about it. I think, yeah, sometimes it's like, that was a dumbass thing to do. I'm never going to do that again. You may face that situation. But the thing is, if you don't try, you never know. And you know what? Life is wonderful. You know, it's full of those magical moments where you'll discover something and you go, wow. It's like, and then there'll be times when, you know, you go, yeah, that wasn't for me. Which is fair enough, but you won't know until you try. Guys, thank you very much indeed for watching my series. The next 2 episodes will be on a more personal level to me as we close off season 1. I've concluded the original tasting video at the end of this one, so you can see what I did, and I don't think it was fair, but you know what? I'm happy with the cheesecake. The cheesecake itself is great, and there are things that you can do with it in terms of topping, you know, put some icing sugar on it, lace it with something else, you know, and it's like, honestly, the flavors just come out, and that's what I love about it. Anyway, guys, until next time, catch you soon. Bye now. Right, guys, the cheesecake looks like it's done. It's still warm, but I like a warm cheesecake, so I want to try this warm. I'm going to do 2 taste tests this time. I'm going to do one warm and cold, as intended. Because you can't put the icing and the strawberries on it when it's warm. You need a way for it to cool down. It's much better that way. But however, I do like my cheesecake warm, and I want to do 2 taste tests. Fuck it, yeah. So I'm gonna get this out. Looks like all the water is gone. Cool. I'm gonna get this out, plate myself a slice, and you're going to see me do a taste test. Right, guys, I've plated up, and I've served myself a serving. So here we go. Okay, let's give this a go. Yeah, it's like looking forward to it. Wait for it. Wait for it. The first thing that hits you, obviously the lemon and the strawberry. Well, the lemon flavor, because of the zest in there, is the strongest thing. But you know there's a hidden ingredient in there. The cheesecake is not your typical sweet cheesecake that you get. It's got a little sour kind of like taste to it. But that will be compensated when it's colder. And I think being colder, it will taste more like a general cheesecake. You can definitely tell there's alcohol in there. The vodka's coming through it. Biscuit base isn't that big, so you don't really notice the whiskey in that. However, I'm wondering I wonder if I can just take just the biscuit layer on its own. Let me just fish for a biscuit layer. For fuck's sake. Alright, guys, I got a biscuit layer just like. Wow, that does have that taste of whiskey. It has a very, very strong taste of whiskey. It's a very, very adult flavor. It's not as sweet as most cheesecakes come. I have to say that. Now, I'm actually pretty impressed because I did have a sneak taste of it as I was like licking my fingers and like, just like taking it off the plate. And I thought, I'm not sure about this, but now that I've tasted it from a plate, I'm actually very, very happy with that. That's a really, really good one. I reckon for the general public, for the general people, a cold version of that with icing sugar on it would be more appropriate and more acceptable, more better received, should I say. But yeah, this tastes of alcohol. Well, that was my goal and I achieved it. Yeah. But honestly, I mean, the lemon in there complements the vodka very, very well. And that's why I chose vodka, actually, because vodka lemon generally goes together. But yeah, let's see tomorrow with the alternative version of this, which will be the cold version. And I will be putting icing sugar on it and strawberries, fresh strawberries. So let's see how that goes. I'll catch you in a bit.